Do you want to get started in airsoft for less than $100? I got your answer right here. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you enjoy watching our content, show us some love by liking the video, and ring the bell to make sure you get notified whenever we drop new content. We appreciate you all. What's going on, you guys? My name is Cisco, and today we are going to be taking a look at a couple of the M4 models from Double Bell. Double Bell has recently hit our website with a wide variety of products, and they have a bunch of M4s that you can get for really cheap. Now, I know when you hear the word cheap, you think of bad quality, but hear me out, it gets a lot better. So Double Bell has two different lines for their series. It is going to be the full metal and the polymer versions of their guns. Today, representing the full metal version is going to be the Mark 18, and for the polymer version, we have the standard M4A1 Riz. So let's get into it. Starting off with the Mark 18, this is going to have a full metal body with a 9.5-inch Mark 18 rail, just as the title says. It is going to have the correct iron sights, which are actually metal iron sights. And it's going to have the standard A2 pistol grip and the crate stock for a very good battery space. Out of the box, the Mark 18 does come with a 14.5-inch outer barrel, but it does have a 4-inch extension that can be removed to give you the correct length for the Mark 18. I do have to note that the inner barrel does go almost all the way through the 14-inch barrel, so you will need some type of extension later. So if you haven't figured it out yet, we use the tan version of the Mark 18 in our accessories video. So go ahead and check that out for some cool ideas to make your gun look even cooler. Now, moving on to the polymer gun, this is the M4A1 Riz, as I said before, and it is completely polymer. Things that you would think that are going to be metal are polymer. So the buffer tube is actually polymer, the outer barrel is polymer, the iron sights are not iron sights, they are plastic, but don't be afraid of that because internally it's actually very well built with a full metal gearbox. One major thing that I noticed about the Double Bell M4s is that they're using a dial hop-up unit compared to a rotary style hop-up unit. Now, this isn't the end of the world, and the airsoft market has been using these for decades, but you might need to adjust your hop-up every once in a while. Similar to the Mark 18, the polymer version is going to be shooting around 390 to 400 feet per second and have a quick change spring system as well. Still not impressed? Stay tuned. It gets even better.
I don't think I've ever seen the internals on one of these Double Bells before.
Let's crack it open. Alright guys, so we've broken down both the full metal and the polymer versions of the gun. So we're going to be comparing the internals of them. Let's get into it. Starting off, one of the main differences that I'm going to be seeing between the polymer and the full metal versions are going to be the ported cylinder. The full metal version does look to have a little bit more of a smoother internal boring, I guess, versus the brass version. Don't get me wrong, it's still pretty smooth, but you can tell the difference in quality between the two. Another part that I saw that was different is going to be the sector gear. On the polymer version, it does have a sector delayer versus the full metal version does not, and then the polymer version does have more ports in it compared to the full metal version. Both of the gear sets are going to be made of steel, so that's actually really good quality out of the box. In terms of the other compression parts, the pistons are going to be the same. It looks like the springs are going to be the same. The cylinder heads are going to be the same, single O-ring with the rubber padding at the end there. Basic clear, no O-ring. Air nozzles, definitely would recommend improving that out of the box. The tapping plates seem to be the same. This one is a little bit off color, but it does seem to be the same material, same durability. They are both using standard trigger housings, and every other part seems to be about the same. I will note that the anti-reversal latch on the full metal version does look to be a little bit more solid than the polymer version, but that's not too big of a difference. Other things that I have noticed out of the full metal gearbox that the polymer version doesn't have is externally it does have the functional bolt catch, so you can actually use the bolt catch to lock back and dial in the hop-up unit a little bit easier. And it's also using a more realistic style of the magazine release. So instead of having just a screw at the end, button actually screws onto the entire bar, giving it more of a solid platform. That's actually really cool because it reminds me of the VFC gearbox instead. Overall, I will say that it's pretty standard out of the full metal version, comparing it to the SEMA and the JG full metal guns. But the main thing is getting the same gearbox, give or take a couple of parts. In the polymer version is amazing. The polymer version is retailing just under $80, and that's such an incredible value coming out of such an affordable gun. So talking about the GEARBOX specifically, I noticed that there weren't any fancy bells and whistles pre-installed out of the box. So like no fancy electronic trigger unit or micro switch trigger or anything like that. So it's using a traditional system that I know is going to be reliable. The reinforced gearbox itself is going to be upgradable, so you can get a higher performance out of it without having to worry about the gearbox shell breaking itself. Overall, I do believe it's going to be a very good investment for you just starting off and to grow with during your airsoft career. The Double Bell Mark 18 Full Metal M4 in black and tan are available for $220 at airsoftgi.com. The Double Bell Polymer M4A1 Riz is retailing for $80 at airsoftgi.com. So in terms of value, at the price that the polymer version is selling for right now, you're normally guaranteed a plastic gearbox AEG that normally can't be upgraded or repaired once it's been broken. At $80, you're getting a legit full metal gearbox and hop-up unit that can be repaired and even upgraded over time to match the durability or performance that you need it to. You can even swap out the externals, the body specifically, for a full metal one to keep it going even longer and, like I said, increase that reliability. Now, talking about the full metal versions, that's going to be a really good base price for a full metal gun with a gearbox that can be upgraded. But overall, it does have great performance out of the box, like I said before. And there's so many different versions of the full metal gun that it's really insane. There's the standard M4A1, the Riz version if you want that. There are a couple of PDW models, a Cisco BSD. There's so many. Just go check out the website. Check out how many we have. There's a lot. So if you're on the market for an M4 that's about the same price as a GEG or a SEMA full metal variant, I would greatly recommend the Double Bell Full Metal series. They have a ton of different options available, like I said before, and they're extremely comparable to the SEMA or GEG brands. But in my opinion, I do believe you are getting a better value because you get the specific model like the Mark 18 or another platform versus getting a standard M4A1. So I do believe it is a very good idea that manufacturers are coming out with affordable products for people to get started in the airsoft. Shout out to Double Bell for thinking about the players and coming out with their polymer line so it's not as pricey to get started in airsoft. Let me know what you think in the comments below. We are uploading every Monday and Friday, so make sure you subscribe for more content. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.